Yeah, I think this is better now. So you can, let me see, this is too huge. So I want to adjust, let me say, 5. All right. So is that visible? All right. So we were here. I said we already have a class, and then this class takes a bunch of things. So we want to make sure this is understood by the entire app, which means we're going to call this class in the main method. So I've created already a main method. It's void because it's not returning anything. What I can do, there's already a function, an inbuilt function called run app. So this run app is where you specify yeah, so in the run app, what happens is that you can now, specify, you can specify the root class. Our root class is Flutter Festival. So what happens is that you can just come here, you copy this, and then you paste it here. So once you paste this, you provide these braces to instantiate, then you terminate. So that is done. So the errors disappeared. Now, if you come to our files here, you find that the test folder is having a red line. So if I go there, we can inspect why that is happening. So the test folder is having an error because remember we deleted everything we had in our editor, and whatever we deleted, the root class was called my app. So we can change this. We can replace this with our root class, which is Flutter Festival. So you see the errors have disappeared. Then we can go back to our lib folder where we are working. So it means based on what we have done, we can build this. We can run this code. We can run this code. We can run this code. I'm going to run it on my phone, and then I show you. And then I show you how it looks like. So what I can do is simply to connect my phone. If you are on Flutter, then you can just auto reload. You reload it or auto restart it, or you run the entire app. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect to my phone. Like you see, it has already detected it. So I can run this to see what is happening. So you can, I want to build it again. What we have done, so many changes. We have deleted the entire app that was coming with the Flutter, and then we have defined our own. We have started from scratch. So we want to see what we have done so far. So you run it. So I'm running it on my phone. You can run it on the editor. Let me check on the online community. Yes, so we are running the app. In case you have questions, you can just drop them. in the chat. I'll be able to, read them. So we want to see our own code, what it is doing, an editor. So once we have achieved that, I will going to show you a concrete how we can structure our app, any Flutter app. And then by the end of the day, we should be able to have a concrete understanding app to be structured. So it has finished. It's now installing, as you can see. Installing build app output. It's installing. By the way, a mobile app, it has Android app has a .apk extension. So that's why you're able to see the APK extension here. I think it's done. It's syncing the files to my phone. So it's done. So basically, what we have now, we have the Flutter Festival 2022 bar, and then an empty body. An empty body. So we are going to provide so many things in the body here. We're going to provide so many things. So if I reload, you see, it's trying to, it's trying to refresh. As you can see, the actions on the terminal is showing. So this is so far what we have done from scratch. So I'm going to go back to the code. So here, this is so far what we have done. So this is scaffold widget. We have provided an app bar. We can enter it again. We are in the scaffold. You can see. If you are here, you are in the app bar. Here, you are in the app. So we can say body. So in the body, we can have a text. Maybe we're displaying, for example, hello world here in this body. So if we're displaying a text is a widget. So what we can do, we can first of all center it. We can say center. Then center is a class. So this is center can have a child. So it's just like in the normal world, you have like your dad, then your dad has a child. Child is one. Then children that is a group, many. So we can provide one thing, child. So this child takes a text. It takes a widget called text. And then in this text, we can display maybe hello, Google Developer Student Club, MOOC. So we can display a text like that. And that text will be showing on our body of the app here. So if I can hot reload, so it means it will sync the files very fast to the device. You see, it is already here. Hello GDSC MOOC. So that is the advantage of Flutter. If you have been able to build the app for the first time, so you don't waste time. You don't waste time, like the way you are seeing here. Very fast. It has already reloaded this. So like, for example, if I change this, I can decide to change this. I can provide what we call a circular progress bar. A circular progress indicator. So if I do that, we can see what is happening. If I hot reload this, Then you see, this is spinning. Let me try to put this. So you can see this is spinning effect. Like when you're on YouTube and then there's no network, this is normally what happens. So it spins. It tries to spin so many times, like it's like waiting. So you see, I've reloaded it very fast. If I go back to what we did, and I reload this, hot reload, it is back to hello. It's very fast. Seconds. We can even see it in the terminal. It's very fast. So the only thing you see, in 406 milliseconds, not even a second, milliseconds. So it's able to reload this very fast. So that is the one good thing with the Flutter. If it was Android Flutter Kotlin, it will be, there is no hot reload. So you'll have to build again and it will take time. That is not efficient. So this is very efficient. So if you are using an external device like the way I'm using, and then you make changes, you just come to this, button, Flutter hot reload. It will apply the changes you have made to your app very fast. So that is very efficient. Now what we want to do, instead of, I want to now talk about the architecture of a Flutter app. So you see, we have done so many things. What we have done, we have created a class. That class has so many things. It has the body of the app, it has the app bar. So if you get a problem, like for example, the body has so many things, and then you get a problem, it will be hard to fix that kind of problem. So what happens is that we apply the concept called modularization. So it's like we divide your work into smaller chunks. So it's like at home, if they want you to do, if they want you to do tasks inside the house, so they can say the young one maybe watch the distance, then the one who is the elder mop the house. So they have tasks. So we can do that in the Flutter, which means instead of having the app bar and the body of the app reside in the same class. So it's like the class there is like the housemaid. She's doing everything and it's very hard. So sometimes you find lunch comes very late because the lady was mopping in the morning and then she had to wash the dishes. Then now she's cooking lunch. That's a lot of work. And if she breaks down, it means you will not have lunch, which is very bad. So imagine the scenario where the person got some problem and then there is no lunch. Some families will not already die, some dies. So to avoid that kind of problem now in programming, if the app breaks because there is a problem in the app bar, we don't want the other components to be disturbed. We want those components to run efficiently, so that we can comment the app bar, and then we debug the problem. We can comment the app bar or the body, and then the app bar remains, at least we have something, instead of messing the whole thing. So what I'm going to do, first of all, there are two things I want to show you, and they're very important because you're going to do them throughout your career of Flutter applications. So instead of having the same things, instead of having different things in the same class, we can define another class to have at least a model. That model should have the body of the app, which means we can say a brand new class by using the keyword class. Maybe we can call it body extends searchless widget. So this is now very fast because you have seen how to define searchless widget. So here you still override the build method because I said every class that is inheriting properties from searchless widget, it must override the build method, which is the root method. So we have the build. So now here, what we want to do, we want to transform what we have done. now for the programmer to make this work easy. Otherwise, the output will be the same. So what is happening is that we want to, instead of keeping this body here, having all this code, which is in the body here, the center code here. So we want to remove this, and then we return, we put it here, such that if there is a problem in the body, so you just say return, and then you paste that code you had written already here. So this is a statement, so you terminate. That is what we want to do. Such that if there is a problem with the body of the app, this white space having GD, hello, GD, SC, mock, if there is a problem here, you don't now go back to this other class. You just come and inspect what is happening inside here, and you correct the problem. So which means we need to link this class to the other class. How do we link it? You just look at the class name, which is the body, then you put it here. Then you create an object by providing these braces. So that is done. So we have not done any new thing, but we have structured our app in a way that if there is a problem with the body, then there is no need to look at the other code. We just need to look at there's an error in the body, then we can just come to this class which contains the body of the application. So somebody can hot reload this, you will not see really any change because we have not done any logic. But what we have done is we have structured our app in a way that a programmer can really get a good feel that if we are, for example, people who are still studying, most of you, if you are doing a final year project, and then somebody is maybe working on it, you can just even divide it into, if you are in a group, maybe of 4, you can say the first person will work on their body. So there is going to be a class called body. So that person can write the body of that. The body of the, maybe the class screen, for example, maybe you have a class screen. Okay, the main page, the landing page. So you can say, write in the body. So that person just going to write a class, the entire app, the class, then the class will sit there with the other things that they are doing, maybe the activities on the app bar, maybe the farmer's page, buyer's page, the farmer's innovation, if it's a suppose innovation, somebody is working on the payment system using the Flutter web API, there's already one. So it means that person is going to just write a class. Then those classes will be put together and it becomes the class. The problem we have, because you normally do not do this kind of practices, and then you find maybe one person is writing the entire app. Or even if people do, they really don't understand how to connect these two or very many apps, very many classes. So that's the problem. Because even if you get code online, which I will show you how to get code online, and then you use it. What is about doing application like? I was saying I was working with a Canadian company, so I was writing the entire app, and I was using it. That was before I moved to another company. So in that scenario, we don't write the entire thing. We are doing the specific thing. So an example can be doing the same. So the payment, you are going to write the specific module that you will connect the other people's code. So there is nothing that changes. This is the only way. So you write a class, that class will be called by another class, and then it will form an app. Then most times, if you get code online, you'll see there are very many files in the lib folder. So I'm going to show you. We can still structure this. Maybe we even put this body in another file called body.dat, and then it can have so many things. So before we do that, we can do another thing. The body here just has a text. So one thing I want you to understand is that we have a body in a new class that any other person can implement further. So here, let me now show you practically the advantage of this. I want to provide detailed content on this page, uh, the body section of the app, which means I can even just take this code like down here. I now forget about this, the upper part. So there's no need for me to touch that code. It's already okay. There are no errors, which means I can work with this part. So if you look at apps in the app stores, like I said, I've said this so many times, they are mostly list-based. So like Facebook, we implement the same thing. WhatsApp, also has a list. If you are start, like when you're scrolling, there's a list of things you are trying to do. So what happens is that we can also do the same things. That's that when you are going to do something out there, you know that at least 90% of apps in stores, they are list-based, and we're going to implement a list-based demonstration here so that we can be able to extend it. So we're just going to focus on the body, which means instead of returning a center text, I can return a list view. So there is a list view I can return. So list view, for this list view, it has, we can return a list view and then we provide methods inside it, or you can just return straight away a list view with a method called builder. You see here, a list view.builder method. So list view is a class. In the class, if you see something with uppercase, that is a class. Like if you see list view, if you have an uppercase, that is the class. Scaffold in uppercase is the class, and the class is the widget. As simple as that. So I'm going to return a list view, and then that list view, if you see something lowercase, it's a method doing a specific thing. So a list view.builder is a function or a method. So if I hit enter, it will generate for me this bunch of code. Then I can provide a semicolon here. I've terminated. I can make it readable by hitting return. I hope the online crew is able to see what I'm doing, which means now we want to see complaining. If you look at the item builder is a function. So it's a function. We're going to, it takes, you can even see it. The function, the type is it's a function, a widget function, it takes a build context and an integer. So we're going to implement that. So if you look at a list view, something scrollable, it has items in it. So those items, you can always count them. You can define them to be infinite. For example, like Facebook. If you open your Facebook, you don't know when that scroll is ending. New feed, so you can make it infinite. So which means here, so what to do, I'm going to start by providing how many, like I want to know how many items, I want to specify specifically some number of items. So you use what we call item count. So item count, we can say 50, 150 items. So if 150 items, which means we can provide an implement. You can provide a function. We say this item builder is now a function which manipulates this list view. So I'm sure you know anonymous functions. Function without a name. So if you are defining a function without a name, put the angle bracket and then the curly bracket. So it doesn't have a name, but that is the structure of an anonymous function, which I want to provide here. So which means what I can do, I can remove this item builder, and then I provide angle brackets like this, and then I need to define the function, something of this sort. So this function, it takes a context, and then it takes an integer. Okay. So it takes an item, it takes a context, it takes an integer. The integer we can say it's maybe a raw number, maybe raw number. We want to provide the number, the rows. So this function should also return something. So if you look at a list, it is a column. It is there in a column. So we are going to return a column. Column is also a class. Column, you see it is there. So terminate. So it means that is the column you see in the list, like a list view, a column where those items, basic items, fit they are in a column. So in that column, so you have a number of items, which means it's an array. So you have an array of new fits. So what we're going to do, we're going to provide an array. So that array, in that it's just only children. Like I said, child is one item. So children number. So it's like if all of you are my children, then you are many. So we use the same concept. So you say children, then inside children, we can provide so many things. We can provide an image, we can provide maybe a text, for example. Maybe text, I can say text, easy class. Then this text some maybe this is raw. I can use string interpolation, which means I can provide a dollar. I can use a dollar simple and then a variable that I already defined, like raw number, for example, like this. And then that's done. So I can hot reload this and see what we have so far. So if I hot reload that, so we should be able to see a list of items. So I have a list here. I can show you. So I have like a scrollable list. We can make it interesting by providing an image. Like those who were here last time, we provided an image. So we have 7 minutes to do that. And then next time, when I come back, I think I've given you a concrete, background of the Flutter sort of application and architecture. So we shall look at creating new, maybe very many files. That file. So what we want to do now, we want to provide an image. Like I said, we can have a text, you can have an image. If I say image, I can say image dot assets, which means I can load an image in the app. So to do that, I can use image dot assets, something like this, and then you provide the path of the image here. It is a string. Now to do that, like I said earlier, we are going to look at this pubspec.yaml file a lot. So in this pubspec.yaml, there is what we call the assets, these assets. So you just go there, we want to specify that if Flutter, there is an image coming. So you remove this, you make sure it's indented very well the way it is, like that. In the same line, I think with this other one, like this, they should be in the same line with the use material design. So once that is done, then you can specify here. The easiest way is to just say assets, then you put a slash, which means you're specifying the entire directory. So how do we treat this? Which means you come to this festival, and then you create a folder. you can create a folder in this project. So let me see. So ideally, you can create a folder a directory. So let me say assets like that. So once that is done, in these assets, this is where we're going to put our images. So I can say maybe, let me try to get an image. I can just go to Chrome here. Maybe the other day I used I just got an image, any random image. So if I go to images, the other day I used this. So somebody can try to get I want to get a screenshot. So I can just get this image. For example, I can get this image like this, capture. Then that image is on my desktop. So I want to get one of these. There are so many images here. Okay, fine. So let me provide let me try to get any. Maybe I rename this, pick one. So I'm going to launch this. So you can come to your these assets directory. Maybe I can drag and drop. So I want to drag. I wanted the let me drag, for example, this code image. So refactor. Okay, there it goes. So I can rename this. Refactor, rename, maybe pick one, like that. Then I refactor. Then I go to my code, this lib folder, the main.dat. So in this directory, you just say asset slash. So you just say assets slash pick one.png, like that. Maybe you get the dependencies for what you have done in the pub spec. So it's done. So this will work. So there we're launching an image on the app, on the list view. How many minutes do we have? So it's already midday. So basically, what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to show you that we can do a lot of things here on the body. So if I'm to upgrade these dependencies, so I can run this app. I want to build it. So basically, that is what we're going to, where we're going to end. So the key takeaways are: one, how can we have a Flutter app well structured using the professional, I would say professional sort of principles that can allow us to work in teams. So that's what we have so far done. We have been able to define that sector. So the next session we are going to do, we will for sure start from where we start by creating very many. For example, we can take that body to a different, that file. So that file can be body.dat, which means if you, for example, check codes online, and then you find a lot of that files. How do you work with such kind of files is what we're going to look at the next time. So we'll be able to explore how we can have very many files. See that you find that aspect of a Flutter project can have very many jar files, and then you can have very many classes. We are testing two of them. We can create more classes, and then we shall also be able to look at how do we also use the docs. The Flutter docs. So in the docs, from one page to the next one, you don't write again. The point is how do we now use that, given that we have understood the Flutter architecture. Then lastly, we shall look at how do we maybe implement Firebase, the back end. Most of our we're just building the UI, and then we are able to see things like, for example, you're able to see, I've just disconnected my phone. Fine. So it was trying to launch the image, but I terminated. I just disconnected. But last time, the same thing. Let me see if we have. I don't have it here. So last time we did the same thing. So we are going to continue. So it was trying to launch this, but I removed it like a list image. This code I will say like the way I did last time, and you run it. Some of you have already achieved what I will do. So you have a list-based image displayed. So, like I said, these are interfaces we are using, and we are using the principles how to structure another app, and then how to handle large code base, how Flutter code base is organized. So, after exploring that, we can look at Firebase. Firebase is a service that can be used to write backend. We did not somebody here talk about a payment app they're doing, and the person was asking me whether it's feasible that they can do it with Flutter. Yes. So I suggested Firebase for the backend, and this time around, I will want to demonstrate that. That you have Firebase backend, can do the UI, you have lots of other ways API. I will want to do that. You can have an app that can allow transactions, payments to be done. So using this there's this Flutter. There is this API from Flutter Wave. So we should be able to, let me see, yes, they published a package. So we should be able to, send money transactions. We should be able to manipulate this. So this will be where I will end. So for now, I think we can end there. And I because of maybe a time factor, if you have questions or concerns, that will allow me and just next time, maybe I will do back again. I can sort of welcome the kind of complaint, comment via this. I'm happy that people are already been able to run apps which we were not able to do last time. Maybe all our people. So this you can take it.
All right, round of applause for us. Okay, I'll introduce myself. I'm Lady Madalena. I'm doing social engineering. I know, yeah. I'm a engineer. And I'm graduated in BDSC. Thank you all for coming. It's really motivating. All right, so we are going to start the session on the Saturday. I hope you guys share. Okay, so for the report, for participating in the solution challenge, otherwise, I would like to focus on movement.
So when I come, like I said, I will say this course, you will be able to build or if you have errors, check, make adjustments, and we shall now continue from there. What you have done, we have repeated almost what we did last time. The only thing was you just learn to then you see how the course is the same. So you can get that course, I already started. Then, yeah, we'll be around next week. So we will continue from where we are. All right, thank you. Have a nice afternoon.
Yeah, you are free to leave as well.
Please make sure to RSVP when you come. So that we don't have to Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello.